Hello, this is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button right out of the gate. I would really appreciate it. There's a breaking story going on right now about an individual named Jaylen Griffin, a 12-year-old boy who went missing back around August 6, 2020 in Buffalo, New York. Now, his mother made this post back on August 6, 2020, so 3.5 years ago. Said, "My son been gone for 48 hours. Buffalo's finest tells me there's nothing they can do. If he was white, shit would have been all different. If anyone sees my boy, Jaylen Griffin, call me." And that sentiment is actually a reality. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even find any newspaper articles on newspapers.com about him being missing after her post right here. However, I did go back and found a newspaper.com article from, I think it was so February 29, 2023. And this article's by Mackie Becker, and it's in the Buffalo News. It says, Joanne Ponzo was laid to rest Thursday, having never known what happened to her son, Jaylen Griffin, who was 12 when he was last seen on August 4th, 2020. Ponzo died September 18th at Sisters Hospital after her health rapidly deteriorated. She was 48. She struggled, said Karima Morris, founder of Bury the Violence, who had supported her and helped her in spreading awareness about Jaylen's disappearance. She did the best she knew how. She loved her children. Jaylen was last seen leaving his home on Warren Avenue in the Broadway-Fillmore district near the Central Thermal. He was believed to be headed to a convenience store on Broadway and Sears Street, Sears food store. He never returned. All right, so let's take a look at Google Earth. He lived right here. This is Joanne Ponzo's house, and it's 16 Warren Avenue. And this is the home right here, and it appears that Jaylen walked over to a store right in this area, Sears Street and Broadway. So perhaps right there, maybe that's a convenience store. Let's see. Well, I guess we can go down the street view and take a look at it. Yeah, it looks like the Broadway Mart right there. And now it's called something different. Street views all over the place sometimes. The names change, but I believe it's that store right there. Okay, now let's get back to that article. Then 3 months later, Jaylen's older brother, Jawan, died. And he was killed in a shooting on Memorial Drive. Jawan was 18 years old. He was shot and killed steps away from his home, Morris said. With one son missing and the other son slain, Ponzo was left emotionally devastated. It frustrated her, Ponzo said. She felt helpless. He was shot in broad daylight in the heavily populated neighborhood. Ponzo was angry with the police for not doing more to solve either of the cases. Over the last 3 years, Morris and other community leaders led search parties and awareness campaigns to try to turn up clues to Jaylen's whereabouts. They held vigils on Jaylen's birthday and on the date of his disappearance and put up billboards with his photo. In the summer of 2020, Buffalo police conducted a new search and used cadaver dogs, but they found no trace of Jaylen. This year, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, that's one of the organizations we donate a lot of money to on this channel, provided an age-progressed image of what he might look like today. Ponzo didn't like the image, Morris said. "That's not my son. It doesn't look like my son," Ponzo said. Morris understood that it was just too hard to imagine her child any other way than when she saw him last. Morris tried to encourage Ponzo to speak to the media about her son. She believed it would be the best way to draw publicity to the missing person case, but she always backed out. She wanted to talk, but she wasn't confident in talking. So many people had told her she doesn't sound good compared to other women out there, Morris said. "I told her, you have an audience waiting for you." Yet she always attended the vigils for Jaylen, insisting on releasing paper lanterns into the sky at the conclusion of the events. Morris said she tried to encourage Ponzo to stay hopeful, but Ponzo always feared that he was dead. Ponzo showed Morris a binder that she found in their house about 2 weeks after Jaylen disappeared. In it was a picture that Jaylen had drawn. "I'm gone already," he wrote on the picture. Ponzo wondered if he somehow knew his fate. Morris said she will carry on the search for Jaylen in Ponzo's memory. "I just have faith to believe, no matter what it is, we will figure it out," she said. Wow, I mean, how tragic is that? She never got answers to where her missing son was, or an answer for her murdered son. But it does appear there is an answer to where Jaylen Griffin was, perhaps this entire time. So this is a News Nation article right here. A home at 107 Sheffield Avenue in Buffalo, New York, is where the body of 12-year-old Jaylen Griffin was found Friday after a nearly 4-year search for him. Those who live in the Buffalo neighborhood say the area is relatively quiet, but the house where Griffin was found is no stranger to law enforcement. The homicide investigation into who killed Jaylen Griffin is underway. Griffin had been last seen at a corner store near his Warren Avenue home on August 4th, 2020. So that's the date he went missing. And was officially reported missing 2 days later. The search for Griffin came to a tragic end after he was found dead inside 107 Sheffield. According to the police dispatch transcript from Friday, Griffin's body was discovered in the attic of the multi-unit house by a maintenance man. Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia said the medical examiner confirmed Monday the body was indeed Griffin through dental records. Let's listen to these calls here.
Sheffield, body's been there. Boy, 107 Sheffield, body's been there a while. 107 Sheffield. Looks like it's going to be the side rear door. From the info from the tenant, see Chris, the maintenance guy. He believes there's a DOA in the attic. No smell. He can't make out what it is, and no one will look.
Tuesday afternoon, crime scene investigators hauled black bags with white tags out of the Sheffield Avenue home where Griffin was found dead days earlier. Property records revealed that the house was sold in 2011 to Sunrise West LLC. The company is registered to a Hamburg post office box. Now, I looked it up on Ben Verified, and it's obviously a rental. I mean, there's 50-something people listed as living there. And it turns out that a registered sex offender had lived there too. So look right here where it says, "We are notifying you of a move as follows. Andrew Wimberly has moved from 107 Sheffield Avenue, Buffalo, New York, to 394 West Ferry Street. But 107 Sheffield Avenue is where Jaylen was found." Now, did this sex offender live there during that time? Andrew Wimberly? Is he the person who abducted him, brought him to that house, and is that why he was up in the attic? Obviously, there's a lot of people who have lived in that house. People had to have known that there was a body up there. I mean, the attic is one of those, a larger place where you can go upstairs and there's space up there. And there's a window even. And if you go down to Street View and you use Google Earth, or Google Maps actually, because Google Earth doesn't have historical view. If you go down here and go to Street View and you look up there, you can see this is from, I believe, 2022. Yes, July 2022. You can see the window open up there. But let's go to Google Maps. You just click on, oh boy, that's going to be tough. There it is, 107 Sheffield. Okay, so we just go right there, go to Street View, and then look at it. Now this one has 2020 October, so he was in there likely 2020 October. So look right there. His body is likely already in there. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how old they believe he was at the time of his death, because let's say he lived up there for 2 more years, it might show that. And how long has he been dead? I mean, we're talking about 3.5 years ago, and they found his body up there, and they said he'd been dead for quite some time. But how long has he been dead? And so if he's been alive longer than that, God knows what the hell was going on in that house. Was he victimized up there for years by various people? We just don't know. But we'll definitely keep track of this story. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, what in the hell is going on in our society? Unbelievable. So here's 2021, windows open. 2022, windows open. It's interesting, right? Because you go back in time and it's always closed, the windows. So look at that. Closed October 2012. Closed September 2007. Closed September 2014. Then, just 2 months after he went missing, the windows open. The windows open. And look at, they're propped open. So somebody wants to make sure they're open to allow ventilation. Now, does that mean that he was alive in there and they wanted to get air in there, or is that for the decomposition odor to leave the house but up high and then dissipate throughout the neighborhood? I mean, this is pretty crazy, but I think there is likely something to why those windows are propped open right at that time. And it might have been, we don't know, because there isn't any other street view between October 2020 and September 2014. We don't know if it was already open, for example, in 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19. But we do know that this street view right here is 2 months after he went missing. And this one is the next year, and this is the following year, and the window's open, and it's not open in any of the previous 3 street views prior to that. Okay, so let's all keep an eye out on Jaylen Griffin's case. It's absolutely disturbing, and hopefully there'll be answers on who did this soon. Okay, so thank you all very much for watching. And if you could hit that like button for me, I'd really appreciate it. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.